Narayan, Narayan. We were discussing in Sugama Atmaikatva Vidya Pratipattaye, Avidya Nivruttaye, Atmaikatva Vidya Pravruttaye, Sarve Vedantaha Arabhyante. So all the Vedantas begin in order to remove the ignorance and give rise to the Atma Ekatva Vidya, to realize to a knowledge of unity of Atman with Brahman. Okay, on this point there was an objection raised by somebody regarding what? Regarding Atma Ekatva Vidya. He says Ekatva Jnanam is impossible. One point. Second point, we were discussing in the second paragraph, in the middle paragraph, what we were discussing is, first, there is no pure Chaitanyam. Nirvishesha Chaitanyam, Advitiya Chaitanyam is impossible. Because Chaitanyam is twofold. One is a nature of consciousness, another is the quality of consciousness. This is what the Purvapakshi says. This argument looks to be close to Ramanujacharya or maybe Ramanuja's tradition alone. This argument. Anyway, we are not interested in people. We are interested in the idea and discuss how far that idea is right or wrong. That's all. So, whoever it may be. The idea is, Nirvishesha Chinmatram Vastu Kutrachid, it's not there. So, Jnanam is of two types. One is the Chaitanyam, another is Chaitanya Gunaha. So, Jiva has got two things. Ishvara has got two Jnanam. One is Ishvara's consciousness is his nature, and Ishvara also has got consciousness as quality. Similarly, Jiva too, he has got two things, two consciousness. One is the consciousness as nature, another is consciousness as quality. Regarding, therefore, what is Swayam Prakasha? Advaitins told that Atma is a self-consciousness. Self-consciousness means self-effulgent, self-shining. Regarding the self-shining too, they have a different opinion. So for them, Atma self-shining means Atma knowing itself. See, this is a very strange and different idea different from that of Advaitins. Atma is, when self-shining, when we say, we mean Atma is of nature of pure consciousness without depending upon without needing an object to know. It is like a light is a light only when it illumines an object. But it is not true. A light is a light whether object to be illumined is there or not. Whether there is an object to be illumined is there or not, light is light, because it is light by its, the light is by its nature, not in relation. Okay. Similarly, consciousness is the nature of Atma. Therefore, Atma is consciousness by its nature, not by its relationship. Okay. This is what Advaitins say. What Advaitins say is, Atma is consciousness by its nature and not in relationship. So consciousness is not a relationship. Now he says, this Ramanuja Paksha, the view of Ramanujacharya and others, there are many other people also believe like that. So consciousness is, Atma is, so two ways they say. Atma is self-conscious because Atma is Swatasiddham, Swaprakasham, Swayam Prakasha. Atma's Swayam Prakasha, self-shining. Self-shining means, they say, knowing oneself. See their interpretation. Self-shining means Atma knows itself. then does Atma become object? Yes, it becomes object. But in Advaitins, Atma doesn't become its own object. Atma cannot have a thought about itself. It cannot think about itself. Atma, or the consciousness, cannot objectify itself, cannot entertain a notion about itself. If there is a notion, that's going to be a mithya pratyaya. That is going to be wrong. Because Atma is not available for objectification, therefore you cannot entertain a thought about Atma. They say Atma can be known and Atma is a knower. Okay, Atma is a knower as well as a known. Therefore, Atma knowing itself is called Swayam Prakasha. See the difference in the meanings of Swayam Prakasha. According to Advaitins, Swayam Prakasha means Atma is consciousness by its very nature. It is independently conscious. It is not a relative consciousness. According to them, Swayam Prakasha means it knows itself. ಈಗ second point about consciousness as a quality. Now, consciousness as a quality, when they say samvit anubhava jnanadi shabdaha khalu chidgunavachakaha, now they use, we say consciousness. Consciousness means in the worldly sense. Just as a person when he is awake is called consciousness. When he goes to sleep he is unconscious. Okay. When he goes to sleep he called unconscious. When he is awake we call him consciousness. This awakened state, this waking state consciousness, and anubhava, jnana of a given object. Okay. So all these mean jnana guna. All these words refer to the consciousness as a quality. Now, how? So, chidguna vachakaha sambandhi shabdatvat tat kartaram karmacha anapekshacha prayujyante. Therefore, this jnana guna, or we can say chidguna, chaitanya guna, requires a knower and known relationship. Chaitanya guna pertains to the knower regarding the known. Regarding the known objects, he entertains a thought. So that is called Chaitanya Guna. But when he knows himself, that is called Chaitanya nature. See, two things they say. A knower knows himself, that is Atma nature. When you know somebody else, that is called Chaitanya Guna, Chaitanya quality. This is how they interpret. Okay, answer we will give when Swamiji replies. Atah swayam prakashoyamatma jnataiva na jnanamatram. Therefore, by swayam prakasha means jnatru, the knowership. The knowership I am adding because in English I don't know. We have to create many English words to be able to express Vedantic ideas. We create certain new English words. Therefore, Indian English is special English. Knowership, knowerhood, we use them. I don't think, even in dictionary you don't find such a word. Knowership, the knowerhood. So the jnatrutvam, in keeping with Sanskrit word jnatrutvam, we create an English word. So he says, this Purapakshi continues, Swayam Prakasha means Atma's knowership. Atma being a knower is Swayam Prakasha, not pure consciousness. Pure consciousness means not a relative consciousness, a non-relational consciousness by its very nature. We don't mean that. Swayam Prakasha is not that. This is what Purapakshi says. Okay, up to this we have discussed in our previous class because there was a gap. So therefore I wanted to review certain ideas. So we will proceed with the today's talk, this fresh talk. Nacha jnana gunena asya vikaraha shakya sankaha jnana gunasya nityatvat. Now next point. If you say Atma has got two things, Purapakshi told, the Purapakshi means non-Advaitins. Non-Advaitin told Atma has consciousness as nature, consciousness as a quality. If that is the thing, Advaitins might object that if Atma contains consciousness as a quality also in addition to consciousness as nature, I repeat it, If Atma contains or possesses consciousness as a quality, in addition to consciousness as nature, okay, then what happens? That jnana guna, the consciousness as a quality, keeps changing because our thoughts change, our ideas change, our understanding about the world change. That's how the life is. The life means only gaining new knowledges. Keep on watching things, knowing and learning. New knowledges keep on happening. Old knowledges go away. Go away means they become memories, and you keep acquiring new knowledges. So naturally, if knowledges or thoughts keep changing, when the knowledges keep improving, changing, then you have to say that the jnana guna, consciousness as a quality, modifies, changes, undergoes change. Now that Purvapakshi says that no, nacha jnana gunena asya vikaraha shakya shankyaha, you can't say. He says we don't admit a change in the Atma simply because it is in possession of, it possesses consciousness as a quality. Just because it possesses consciousness as a quality, it possesses consciousness as a quality, you cannot attribute a change to Atma. Why? Consciousness is, quality is changing. They say no. Quality, consciousness as a quality doesn't undergo change, Purvapakshi says. Who is telling? Purvapakshi. Because consciousness as a quality is eternal. It is a strange. See, jnana gunasya nityatva, jnana guna and jnana swarupa, both are eternal, they say. Oh. Then what do Vedantins say, Advaitins say? What they call, what non-Advaitins call jnana as a quality, consciousness as a quality, we Advaitins call that is nothing but only a reflected consciousness, a consciousness seen through mind. It is a state of mind, it is a state of thought. We call thought is also consciousness, but it is in a secondary sense. Thought is not really consciousness. Thought is only a reflected consciousness. Like light, when light is reflected in a mirror, you see that reflected light. Reflected light is not an original light. It is like a reflection. It is like a photograph. So similarly, the consciousness that you find in mind, in sense organs appear to be conscious. Mind appears to be conscious. So the consciousness that is found in mind, consciousness that is found in sense organs is not Atmas, is not original. It is a reflected consciousness. The real consciousness is Atma alone. Therefore, there are no two consciousnesses. There is only one consciousness. Okay. So, now Purvapakshi, that non-Advaitin, continues. Sushupti murchadavapi sadeva gunabhutam jnanam karmana sankuchitam anabhivyaktam jagaradau vikasitam abhivyajyate ityavirodha. Now, Advaitins asked, if consciousness is a quality of Atma, then since quality changes, because in waking state you have a more consciousness. In deep sleep, what happens? Consciousness becomes unconscious. So in this thing, this quality, consciousness as a quality, is appearing, disappearing. Even in the waking state, consciousness is changing. Consciousness is expanding, is it not? In waking state, a baby is less conscious. As it grows, baby becomes conscious of many more things. Your knowledge improves. Okay. Therefore, consciousness is undergoing change, isn't it? Advaitins say that if you say consciousness is a quality, then that quality is changing. The non-Advaitin, he says that in spite of admitting consciousness as a quality, they say that consciousness doesn't undergo change. It is eternal. How? Then how do you explain? We are asking them that the Vishishtadvaitins, how do you explain the change in consciousness like waking and sleep? Consciousness in the waking is in one way, in deep sleep there is no consciousness. How do you explain that? If it is eternal, you should not be able to sleep. You should be always awake. Are you all the time awake? Are you conscious all the time? Sometimes you miss. You go to coma. You go to sleep. You go to coma. Okay. Then if consciousness is eternal, one should not be able to sleep. One should not be able to go into coma. He should be all the time awake only. Since he is going to sleep, this shows that your consciousness of quality is changing. This is the objection of Advaitins or Vedantins. Now the Vishishta Advaitins reply, no, there is a difference. Sushupti Murchadau api, in deep sleep and coma, it appears that there is no consciousness. Will tell you, it is not the change in consciousness. They say, Sadeva Gunabhutam Jnanam. They say, Jnanabhutam Gunabhutam Jnanam. Consciousness in the form of a quality doesn't undergo change. Doesn't undergo change? We ask. But you are sleeping. In sleeping there is no consciousness. They say, consciousness has not changed. Consciousness only has shrunk. Has shrunken. I don't know how do you express in English. Shrunken. It is expanding and contracting. Shrinking. Consciousness shrinks like certain cloths, like silk and other cloths. What happens? When you put in water, it shrinks like a folded cloth. Shrinks. And afterwards you dry it and iron it, press it with an iron, it expands. The cloth expands. Isn't it? Similarly, they say consciousness doesn't undergo change. Consciousness is eternal. Consciousness as a quality is eternal. Then what happens in deep sleep and waking? In waking, consciousness expands. The same cloth spreads. In deep sleep, the cloth is folded up. The cloth is folded. Okay. When you fold up, it looks small. In waking state, you spread it. The folded cloth, like a folded cloth, you spread it. You spread it. In deep sleep, it is folded. Therefore, consciousness is eternal. It is not undergoing change. It is shrinking, expanding. This much we accept. Contracting, expanding. Like a person, when he stands, he looks tall. When he folds his hands and legs like this, what happens? He looks small, like a ball. He looks like a ball. Or when he expands, he grows into a tall man. Similarly, consciousness expands, contracts. That's all. But it is eternal. It doesn't undergo change. I don't know, but is expansion, contraction itself not change? I don't know. He says it is not change. I'm not able to understand. But that's how the Purvapakshi says. He says it contracts, expands, yet it is eternal and not changing. It is not changing according to him. Okay. So, Sushupti Murchadavapi Sadeva Gunabhutam Jnanam Karmana Sankuchitam Anabhivyaktam, due to karma. Then how does it contract and expand? Due to karma. Due to karma, it contracts. Therefore, you go to sleep due to karma. Your karma of sleeping comes, you go to sleep. Your karma of waking comes, you wake up. That means waking up and sleeping, consciousness expanding and contracting is due to your punya papa. It is due to your karma. Sankuchitam anabhivyaktam jagaradav vikasitam abhivyajyate. See, in waking it becomes vikasitam, expands and manifests. But in deep sleep, contracts and shrinks, gets folded up, shrinking into itself. Abhivyajyate. Therefore, consciousness as a quality is eternal, it doesn't die, it doesn't change, it only expands, contracts, that's all. Tadevam chinmatra rupam vastu na vidyate tad vishayini vidya vidhiyate. Therefore, ultimate conclusion of that Purvapakshi is that there is no such thing called pure consciousness. Consciousness is always a knower. Means his knowledge is relative. Consciousness is relative, and also there is a consciousness as a quality. But what you Advaitins say, that there is a pure consciousness, non-related. It is a pure Shuddha Chaitanyam. It is a Shuddha Chaitanyam, Chaitanya Guna, not Chaitanya Guna, but Chaitanya Swarupam only. Advaitins say Chaitanyam is pure nature only, it is not quality. So Vishishtadvaitin says that Ramanujacharya, Chaitanyam is a quality, Chaitanya Guna and Chaitanya Swarupa too. And the Chaitanya Swarupa also is a Jnata only. Chaitanya Swarupam is also Jnatru, there is no Swayam Prakasha. Or if you mean Swayam Prakasha, only this much. This is what Ramanujacharya's Paksha. Okay, he continues, one more argument. After one more argument, Swamiji starts replying. Okay. Yesterday we should have done Vedanta Paribhasha. There were some disturbances, that and this, and some people came and whole day kept me busy. So I couldn't do that. Nacha, next point. Nacha atmanam nanatvena prasiddhanam ekatvam pratipadayitum arhanti Vedanta. Now Atmaikatva Vidya. In these things, regarding Chaitanyam, it is over. Now next point is, he says, Atma is Aneka. This Ramanuja Paksha, view of Ramanujacharya's follower of Ramanujacharya says that Atmas Anekam, there are many Atmas. Therefore, Atma Ekatva you are talking. Your Shankara Bhashya says Atma Ekatva Jnanam, Jnanam of Atma becoming one. There is only one Atma, one consciousness. Such a Jnanam doesn't exist. He says there is no Jnanam. Atmas are many. How can you know one Atma? Impossible. Knowing one Atma is impossible. Nacha Atmanam Nanatvena. Atmas are many. Prasiddhanam. Everybody knows there are many Atmas. Don't we see? This is what Purvapakshi says. Purvapakshi says that you are one Atma, you are one Atma, you are another Atma, I am another Atma. Like this, here only there are 5 or 10 Atmas. So there are many Atmas. How can you say Atma Ekatva? Impossible. Okay. Pratipada itumaran. How can Vedanta teach all Atmas are one? All Atmas are one, and you and me and everybody is same? If everybody is same, if I eat, you will get the food. If you go to sleep, do you think that I will go to sleep? Atmas are different. The common sense, understand this. When somebody is sleeping, another is awake. When somebody is eating, another is not eating. There are so many differences. Therefore, Nataram Atma Brahmano Rekatva. First thing is, all Atmas don't become one. Then where is the question of Atma becoming one with Brahma? They says, neither Atma becomes neither one with Brahma, nor all Atmas become one Atma. Both are not possible. Yella Atmagalu Vandatma aguvadu asambhava. Athava Atma Brahma Jatige Vandaguvadu asambhava. Eradu asambhava iti Purvapakshi says. Purvapakshi ఏమంటున్నాడు? ఆత్మ ఏకత్వం అంటే అన్ని ఆత్మలు ఒకటి కావటం వీలుండదు. ఆత్మలు అనేకం. దెన్ ఆత్మ బ్రహ్మల ఏకత్వము కుదరదు. ఆత్మ ఏకత్వం మీరు అన్నదే తప్పు. This is what Purvapakshi says. It is wrong to say that Atma Ekatvam Nataram Atma Brahmanor Ekatvam Adityadi Jivebhyo hi Bhedaha Sputam Vyapadishyate. See, Surya is one Atma. And Jiva is another Atma. You are one Atma, like this. So, Aditye Tishtan Aditya. Now he says there is a Brihadaranyaka Vakyam. There is a Vakyam of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. There is a Vakyam of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. He says, Ya Aditye Tishtannadityaadantaro Yamadityo na Veda Yasyadityo Shariram Ya Adityamantaro Yamayati. He says, Yo Aditye Tishtan. Paramatma lives in Aditya. This is Purvapakshi's word, okay? Remember, it is Purvapakshi. So, Yo Aditye Tishtan. Andre Atma lives within the Aditya. Aditya the Antaraha. He is something inner to Aditya. And Adityo na Veda, the sun doesn't know him. Yasya Aditya Shariram. And the sun is the body of Paramatma. Yo Aditye Tishtan Adityadantaraha. Yam Adityo na Veda. Yasya Aditya Shariram. Ya Aditya Mantaro Yamayati. So therefore he, remaining inside the sun, he controls it. That means there are two Atmas. One is a Jivatma, another is Paramatma. Paramatma lives inside Jivatma. ಒಂದು ಡಬ್ಬಿ ಒಳಗೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದಿರುತ್ತದೆ ನೋಡಿ ಹಾಗೆ. ಜೀವ ಡಬ್ಬಿ ಅಂತೆ, ಡಬ್ಬಿ ಒಳಗೆ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಇರುತ್ತಾನಂತೆ. ಜೀವ ಡಬ್ಬಿ, ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಡಬ್ಬಿ ಒಳಗೆ ಇರುವಂಥ ಚಿನ್ನ. ಹಾಗೆ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೌ ಹಿ ಸೇಸ್, ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಈಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಗೋಲ್ಡ್ ಸಿಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ಎ ಬಾಕ್ಸ್. Jiva is a box. Okay. Similarly, Ishvara is within Surya. And he is inside Surya. He is little inner to Surya. And Surya doesn't know him. Sun doesn't know him. But he controls the sun. Brahma controls the sun. Like this, Ya Atmani Tishtan iti. Sutrecha. Even Brahma Sutra also tells Adhikam tu Bheda Nirdeshat. There is a Bheda Nirdesha. Jiva Brahmas are separate. Adhikopadeshat tu Badarayanasya evam taddarshanat. Badarayana says that he teaches Paramatma as something more than Jivatma. Therefore, Jivatma is different and Paramatma is different. If Paramatma were not different from Jiva, how could the Brahma Sutra say like that? See, the Brahma Sutra is telling Adhikopadeshat. Ishvara is taught as something more than Jiva. Paramatma is taught as more than Jiva. Therefore, Badarayanasya evam. This is Badarayana's view because that's how we see them. Tasmat Bheda eva Jivanam Parasparam Paramatmanas Sakashada Piti Yuktam. Therefore, all Jivas are different from Paramatma. You say Jiva and Brahma become one and you will come to know Brahmatma Ekatva Jnanam. He says Brahma Atma Ekatva Jnanam is Asambhavam. A Jnanam of Brahma and Atma becoming one is impossible because Atma is different. Upanishads say, Bhagavad Gita says, Brahma Sutras say, everybody says that Atma Paramatma both are separate. Atma ಬೇರೆ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಬೇರೆ ಎಂದು ಉಪನಿಷತ್ತು ಹೇಳುತ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಯಾರು ಪೂರ್ವಪಕ್ಷ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತಾ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಸೂತ್ರಗಳು ಹೇಳುತ್ತಾ ಇವೆ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಜೀವನಿಗಿಂತ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನವನು, ಜೀವ ಸಣ್ಣವನು. ಇಬ್ಬರು ಬೇರೆ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇಬ್ಬರು ಒಂದೇ ಅಲ್ಲ. ದೇ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಟೂ, ದೇ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಒನ್, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಸಪರೇಟ್. ತಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಭೇದ ಏವ ಜೀವಾನಾಂ ಪರಸ್ಪರಂ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ಸಕಾಶಾದ ಪೀತಿ ಯುಕ್ತಂ. ದೇರ್ಫೋರ್ Jivas are different from each other. Okay. Jivas are different from each other. And also Jivas are different from Brahma. Both this Bheda you must accept. Then what? And he says, then in the Moksha Kala, Jiva becomes one. Does he not become? Advaitin is asking. అద్వైతను కేళ్తా ఇద్దానే, అద్వైతి అడుగుతున్నాడు, పోని జీవుడు మోక్షంలో మాత్రం పరమాత్మతో ఏకమవుతాడా? పరమాత్మతో ఏకమవుతాడు కదా. ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತ ಅಂటున్నది, ಉಪನಿಷತ್ತುలు ಅಂటున్నాయి కదా. ದೇರ್ಫೋರ್ ಆತ್ಮೈಕತ್ವಂ ಇಸ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್. ಅದರಿಂದ ಆತ್ಮೈಕತ್ವವು ಹೊಂದುತ್ತದೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ పూర్వపక్షి రామానుజ సేస్, అయ్యో యూ మిస్అండర్స్టూడ్, నువ్వు తప్పర్థం చేసుకున్నావయ్యా, చూడు ఇక్కడ పరమం సామ్యముపైతి. ముండకోపనిషత్ సేస్ పరమం సామ్యం, పరిపూర్ణ సమానత. సామ్యం అంటే పోలికనే కానీ ఏకత్వం కాదు. ఇంకొకటి భగవద్గీత మమ సాధర్మ్యమాగతా. సామ్యం మీన్స్ సిమిలారిటీ, నాట్ వన్నెస్, పూర్వపక్షి సేస్. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತಾ ಸೇಸ್ ಮಮ ಸಾಧರ್ಮ್ಯಮಾಗತಾ. ಜೀವಾಸ್ ಅಟೇನ್ ಸಾಧರ್ಮ್ಯಂ, ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಧರ್ಮ, ಸಾಧರ್ಮ್ಯಂ. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ భగవద్గీత ఆల్సో సేస్ హీ బికమ్స్ సిమిలర్ టు మీ. భగవద్గీతను అంటున్నది జీవుడు నాతో పోలి ఉంటాడు, మోక్షంలో నన్ను పోలి ఉంటాడు, నాలాగే తయారవుతాడు. అంతేగాని తాను నేను ఒకటే అయిపోతామని అట్లా లేదు. మోక్షంలో ఉపనిషత్తు ఏమంటుంది? నాలాగే తయారవుతాడు జీవుడు, అంతే మోక్షం అంటే. బ్రహ్మకు దగ్గరగా వస్తాడు కానీ పూర్తి బ్రహ్మగాడు. బ్రహ్మలాగా డ్రెస్ వేసుకుంటాడు, బ్రహ్మలాగా బొట్టు పెట్టుకుంటాడు, బ్రహ్మలాగా కిరీటం పెట్టుకుంటాడు, బ్రహ్మలాగా పులిహోర దద్దోజనం తింటాడు, చక్కెర పొంగలి కూడా తింటాడు. పరమాత్మకి చక్కెర పొంగలి పులిహోర దద్దోజనం అంటే చాలా ఇష్టం వెంకటేశ్వర స్వామికి. అందుకని ಅದರಿಂದ తింటాడు జీవుడు. మోక్షంలో వైకుంఠం ఎందుకు పోతాడు? పులిహోర దద్దోజనం చక్కెర పొంగలి ఈ మూడు అక్కడ బాగా దొరుకుతాయి, అందుకని వైకుంఠంకు పోతాడు. అయితే విష్ణు ఉన్నట్టుగా శంఖచక్ర గదా పద్మ ధరిస్తానే. హీ వేర్స్ శంఖచక్ర గదా పద్మ అండ్ ఈట్స్ ద ఫుడ్ లైక్ హిమ్ అండ్ హీ బికమ్స్ ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ సిమిలర్ టు విష్ణు. నీలమేఘశ్యామ, just like Vishnu, and it becomes very difficult to recognize. If somebody comes, some Vishnu Bhakta in a Vishnu's posture, we may think that he is Vishnu only. యారో ఎవరైనా విష్ణు వేషం వేసుకొని వస్తే ఆయన చూసి విష్ణువే అనుకుంటాం. మన ఆంధ్రలో ఈ మధ్య ఎన్టీ రామారావుని కృష్ణుడినే చేసి పెట్టేశారు. కృష్ణుడు వేషం వేస్తే ఆయన కృష్ణుడు అయిపోయాడట. ఈ మధ్య ఆంధ్రలో ఏం చేస్తున్నారు, వాళ్ళు ఒక పెద్దది రీసెంట్లీ దే ఆర్ ట్రయింగ్ టు డూ ఆర్ ప్రాబబ్లీ దే హ్యావ్ డన్, ఐ డోంట్ నో, చేశారో మరి చేస్తామని అనుకుంటున్నారు, ఏదో నడుస్తుంది అక్కడ, గొడవ నడుస్తుంది. సో దే ఆర్ థింకింగ్ లైక్ దట్ ఎన్టీ రామారావుస్ ఫాలోవర్స్, దేర్ ఫ్యాన్స్, దే ట్రై టు బిల్డ్ ఎ హ్యూజ్ స్టాచ్యూ ఆఫ్ ఎన్టీ రామారావు యాజ్ ఎ కృష్ణ. సమ్ పీపుల్ అపోజ్ దట్ he is only an actor, don't make him Krishna. They say no, we want to put him Krishnas. Now people object it and some people support it. There is a going on tussle between them. ఓకే, ఇద్దరి మధ్య ఏదో నడుస్తున్నది, ఇద్దరి మధ్య. అయితే సరే, అది వాళ్ళు చూసుకుంటారు. అయితే మనం చెప్పేది ఏమిటంటే ఇక్కడ విష్ణువు సమానం అవుతాడే కానీ విష్ణువే కాడు. దే సే దట్ హీ బికమ్స్ సిమిలర్ టు విష్ణు బట్ నాట్ విష్ణు ఓన్లీ. విష్ణు సామ్యం. హూ సేస్ నాన్ అద్వైతిన్స్, అద్వైతేతరులు, రామానుజ మాధ్వమంత మొదలగువారు ఇలా అంటారు. సో దేర్ ఫోర్ సాధర్మ్యమాగతా ఈతితు బ్రహ్మ ప్రకారభూతస్యైవ ప్రత్యేగాత్మన. బ్రహ్మ ప్రకార ఈజ్ ఓన్లీ ఎ బ్రహ్మద అంశ. ప్రకారభూత అస్యైవ ప్రత్యేగాత్మన స్వరూపం తత్సమమితి. దేవాది ప్రాకృత రూప ప్రహాణేన బ్రహ్మ సమాన శుద్ధి ప్రతిపాదన పరమిత్యన్యదే తత్. సో ಅವನು ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಶರೀರಂ ದೇವತಾ ಶರೀರಂ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹಿ ಗಿವ್ಸ್ ಅಪ್ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಶರೀರ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೇವತಾ ಶರೀರ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ టు విష్ణు. వైకుంఠంకు పోతే అల్లి వందల కొలది విష్ణు ఆకారంలో కనిపిస్తారు. ఇన్ వైకుంఠ, ఇఫ్ యూ గో టు వైకుంఠ యూ విల్ సీ దెమ్ hundreds and thousands of Vishnu akaras. If you go to Kailasa, thousands and thousands of Shiva akara. Everybody looks like Shiva. So you would not know who is real Shiva, who is a what you call imitator Shiva. అంటే భక్తులు విష్ణు ఆకారం ధరించిన భక్తులు అథవా విష్ణువే నిజమైన విష్ణువు, ఇద్దరిలో తేడా ఎట్లా గుర్తుపడతారో మనకైతే తెలియదు. విష్ణు భక్తులకు తెలుస్తుంది. నేను వైకుంఠంకు పోతే నీకు తెలుస్తుంది, మనకు తెలియదు. ఎందుకంటే మనకు రాదు కాదు. వాళ్ళకంటారు మీరు అవివేకులు, మీకేం తెలుస్తుంది, మేము విష్ణు భక్తులం, మాకు తెలుస్తుంది, మీరు తెలియకుండా మాట్లాడతారు, ఇట్లా అంటారు వాళ్ళు. సో ప్రహాణేన బ్రహ్మ సమాన శుద్ధ ప్రతిపాదన పరం ఇత్యన్యదే తత్ అతో అయుక్తమిదముచ్యతే ఆత్మైకత్వ. సో చివరికి వారి వారి ఉపసంహారం, అల్టిమేట్లీ దర్ కన్క్లూజన్ ఈజ్ దట్ ఆత్మైకత్వ విద్య అసంభవం, ఆత్మైకత్వ విద్య ఇంపాసిబుల్. This much is a Purvapaksha, Ramanuja's Purvapaksha. Now Satchidananda Swamiji replies. సచ్చిదానంద స్వామీజీ దీనికి జవాబిస్తున్నారు. స్వామీజీ 66వ పాయింట్. ఓకే, ఈరోజు కాదు, కొంచెం మొదలు పెడదాం. 66వ పాయింట్. ఫస్ట్ ఏమిటి? అత్రాభిధీయతే నైషా సాధ్వి శంక. ఈ సందేహము సరిగ్గా లేదు. దిస్ డౌట్ ఈజ్ నాట్ రైట్. It is not in place. Why? Swatasiddhanubhavamatratvadaikatmyasya. See, what we told you have not understood. Advaitin is replying, Swamiji is replying. What we are trying to say is, Atma Ekatvam is not a matter of becoming. You are Brahman. Atma Ekatvamu, Brahmaikatvamu ante అది ఇక ముందు అవుతుంది అని కావలసిన స్థితి అనటంలే. ఉన్నదే ఒక్కటి. నువ్వు ఒకటి అవుతావు అంటే అవుతుందో కాదో వాదించవచ్చు. ఉన్నదే అది. నువ్వేం చేస్తావు, నేనేం చేస్తావు? వాట్ కెన్ యూ డూ ఆర్ ఐ డూ? దిస్ ఈజ్ వాట్ ఇట్ ఈజ్. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಕೆಲವರಿದ್ದಾರೆ ತೆಲುಗು ಬೇಕೆಂದು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದು? ಅವ್ರ ಪಾಪ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೇನೋ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಎಂದು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ದೇ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ದಟ್ ದೇ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಬಟ್ ದೇ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಲಿಸನ್. ಐ ಸಿ ದೇರ್ ನೇಮ್ಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಸೊ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಗುಡ್ ವೇದಾಂತಿನ್ಸ್, good jignasus. They want to listen Sugama also. So if I speak only in English, they are unable to understand. So in between the summary of it, I say in Kannada and also little bit in Telugu, so that they also may understand. Mainly it is an English class, but I do little bit in Kannada and Telugu also. Seeing them, if they don't appear, if their names don't appear, I forget, I'll go into English only. Okay. So in this thing, Swatasiddha Anubhava Matratvat Aikatmyam, this Siddhanti's answer is Atma Ekatvam or Brahmekatvam. Becoming one with Brahman, becoming one with Brahman is not, we are not putting it as a probability. Not that you are going to become it by some sadhana or by some anugraha of Ishvara or something. Ishvara anugrahantono లేకపోతే మీ సాధనతోనో బ్రహ్మతో ఏకత్వం పొందుతావు అని చెప్పటంలే. ದಟ್ ನೀನು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಒಂದಾಗಿ ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ ಸಾಧನದಿಂದಲೋ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾರೋ ಈಶ್ವರ ಅನುಗ್ರಹದಿಂದಲೋ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಆಗುತ್ತೀ ಎಂದು ಹೇಳುತ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಇರುವುದೇ ಒಂದು, ಅದು ಸ್ವತಃಸಿದ್ಧ, తాను తానాగిರುವ వస్తు, తాను తానుగా ఉన్నట్టి స్వతసిద్ధ తత్వం అది. ఇది దృష్టిలో పెట్టుకుంటే మీ అబ్జెక్షన్కి నో రూమ్, దెర్ ఇస్ నో రూమ్ ఫర్ యువర్ ಅಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಷನ್. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಷನ್ಗೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆಕ್ಷೇಪಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಥಾನವಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವಕಾಶವಿಲ್ಲ. మీ ఆక్షేపానికి అక్కడ స్థానం లేదు. ఎందుకంటే వాళ్ళు ಏಮನ್ಕೊಂటున్నారు, ಅವರು ಏನು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಆಗುತ್ತೇವೆ ಎಂದು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆಕ್ಷೇಪ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ದೇ ಆರ್ ರೇಸಿಂಗ್ ಅಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ assuming that according to us we are telling that you become Brahman by some sadhana. No. See, Swatasiddha Anubhava Matra Ekatva. This Swatasiddha, self-existing, is everybody's experience. It is a matter of everybody's experience. Andari Anubhavanlo unnattiది Swatasiddha Tattvam adi. ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲರ ಅನುಭವದಲ್ಲಿ ತಾನು ತಾನಾಗಿರುವಂಥ ಸ್ವತಃಸಿದ್ಧ ತತ್ವ. ದೇರ್ಫೋರ್ ಸ್ವತಃಸಿದ್ಧ ಅನುಭವ ಮಾತ್ರಾತ್ ಆತ್ಮೈಕತ್ವಸ್ಯ ಯತ್ತಾವದ ಆಶಂಕ್ಯತೆ ನಿರ್ವಿಶೇಷ ಚಿನ್ಮಾತ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಮಾಣಂ ನ ಪಶ್ಯಾಮಿ. ನೌ 4 or 5 arguments of Ramanujacharya. He takes one by one, point by point and answers. ರಾಮಾನುಜಾಚಾರ್ಯರು ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು ಹಿಂದಿನ 2 ಪಾಠಗಳಲ್ಲಿ, 2-3 ಹಿಂದಿನ 2-3 ಪಾಠಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನು ಆಕ್ಷೇಪಗಳನ್ನು ಎತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೋ ಆ ಒಂದೊಂದು ತಗೊಂಡು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಒನ್ ಬೈ ಒನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಈ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ. ನತ ಪಶ್ಯಾಮಃ first point is Nirvishesha Chinmatre Pramanam Nasti. There is no pramana for, first argument is, there is no pramana for Nirvishesha Atman. To say that Atma is non-dual and without any specifications, one, uniform, one at infinitely one, and that also uniform. Through and through is one, same like Akasha is one. There is no thicker and thinner Akasha, isn't it? There is no thickness in one place and thinness in another place. It is all one and uniform consciousness. ಆತ್ಮ ఒకచోట ಮಂದಂగా ఉంటుంది, ದಟ್ಟಂగా ఒకచోట ಪಲಸನ, ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ದಟ್ಟವಾಗಿದೆ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ತೆಳ್ಳಗಾಗಿದೆ ಎಂದು ಹಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಚೈತನ್ಯವು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಒಂದೇ ಸಮ, ಆಲ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್ ಒನ್ ಇನ್ಫಿನಿಟ್ కాన్షియస్నెస్, ಒಂದೇ సమ, ఒకే రీతిగా అంతటా ఉంటుంది, ఒకే రీతిగా ఉన్నట్టి చైతన్యం. ಅಂಥ ಚೈತನ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಮಾಣವಿಲ್ಲ ಎಂದು, ದೆರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ. ಯಾವ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ಹೇಳ್ತದೆ? ಪ್ರತ್ಯಕ್ಷ can't reveal pure consciousness. Anumana cannot reveal. Shabda cannot reveal. Therefore, there is no pramana. You can't accept Atmaikatvam. This is the argument of Purvapakshi. To this he says, Natena kinchit anishtam apadyate asmakam. We are nothing to worry. Nothing to worry. We are not to worry about it for want of pramana. If there is no pramana for it, we need not worry. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಮಾಣವಿಲ್ಲ ಎಂದು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮಗೇನು ಚಿಂತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಏಕೆ ನಹಿ ವಯಂ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ಬಲೇನ ಏಕಾತ್ಮ್ಯಂ ಪ್ರತಿಪದ್ಯಾಮಹೇ. ಆತ್ಮೈಕತ್ವ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎಸ್ಟಾಬ್ಲಿಷ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ. ನೋಟ್ ದಿಸ್. ಯು ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್, ಪೂರ್ವಪಕ್ಷಿ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ದೆರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ, ದೆರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ, ಲೆಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಬಿ, ಲೆಟ್ ದೇರ್ ಬಿ ನೋ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್? ಇಟ್ ಡಸಂಟ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಎನಿ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್. ಪ್ರಮಾಣವಿಲ್ಲದಿದ್ದರೆ ಏನು, ಇಲ್ಲದಿದ್ದರೆ ಬಿಡೋ. ಪ್ರಮಾಣವಿಲ್ಲದಿದ್ದರೆ ನಮಗೇನು ಚಿಂತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಏಕೆ? ನಾವು ಹೇಳುತ್ತಿದ್ದು ಅದ್ವಿತೀಯ ಆತ್ಮ ಎಂಬುದು ಸ್ವತಃ ಸಿದ್ಧ, ನಾಟ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ಪ್ರಮಾಣ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎಸ್ಟಾಬ್ಲಿಷ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸ್ವತಃ ಸಿದ್ಧ. ಅದು ಸ್ವತಃ ಸಿದ್ಧವಾಗಿದೆಯೇ ಹೊರತು ಪ್ರಮಾಣದಿಂದ ಸಿದ್ಧಪಡಿಸಿದ್ದಲ್ಲ. ಪ್ರಮಾಣದಿಂದ ಸಿದ್ಧಪಡಿಸುವುದಾದರೆ ಪ್ರಮಾಣವು ಇರಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಪ್ರಮಾಣದಿಂದ ಸಿದ್ಧಪಡಿಸಿದ್ದರೆ ಆಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಪ್ರಮಾಣವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ సిద్ధವಾಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ప్రమాణం లేకపోతే ఆత్మ అద్వితీయం అనేది స్వతసిద్ధమే కాదు. కానీ మేమంటున్నది అద్వైతం అనేది స్వతసిద్ధ అనుభవమే. ಆತ್ಮ ಸ್ವತಃಸಿದ್ಧ ಅನುಭವವೇ. ಅದರಿಂದ ನಾನು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಎಂಬುದು ನೀನು ಆಗುತ್ತಿ ಎಂದು ಹೇಳುತ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನೀವು ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ತಾನಿದೆ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟವಿಲ್ಲ ಬಿಡ, ಇಲ್ಲದಿದ್ದರೂ ಇದ್ದರೂ ಏನು ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಇರುವುದೇ ತಾನದು. This is how it is. Whether you like it or not, whether you know it or not, the fact remains that you and there is no something other than Brahman. Whoever is speaking, it is the same Brahma speaking. Whoever is listening, it is the same Brahma is listening. Whoever is, there is only Brahma. There are not many Atmas. Okay. Therefore, iti किंतु स्वतः सिद्धम एव आत्मैकत्यम शास्त्रेण उपदिश्यते. What Shastra is doing is that स्वतः सिद्ध Atma is already existing. It is pointing out. That's all. The self-existing Atma, it is pointing out. It is not making ಸ್ವತಃ ಸಿದ್ಧ Atma. It is not making ಅದ್ವಿತೀಯ ಆತ್ಮ. ಆತ್ಮ ಏಕತ್ವವನ್ನು ಉಂಟು ಮಾಡುತ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆತ್ಮ ಏಕತ್ವವನ್ನು ಶ್ರುತಿ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ಉಂಟು ಮಾಡುತ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ತಾನಿದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಎಂದು ಅನಿಸುತ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಅನಿಸಿಕೆ ಬುದ್ಧಿಯನ್ನು ಕಡೆದು ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ತೊಳೆದು ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸ್ವತಃಸಿದ್ಧವಾಗಿದ್ದರೂ ಸ್ವತಃಸಿದ್ಧವಿದೆಯಾ? ಹೇಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲವಲ್ಲ. ಸ್ವತಃಸಿದ್ಧವು ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನಿಸಿಕೆ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಆ ಅನಿಸಿಕೆ ತಪ್ಪು ಎಂದು ಹೇಳ್ತದೆ. ಸ್ವತಃಸಿದ್ಧ ತಾನೇ ಇದ್ದು ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ. See, Swatasiddha, non-dual, infinite self-existence remains. The mind entertains a thought that Swatasiddha Atma Advitiya Valla, that there is no Advitiya. It thinks that there is no Advitiya. The notion that there is no Advitiya is disproven, is dismissed. The assumption that Atma is not Swatasiddha, Advitiyam is not Swatah Siddha. So this assumption is wrong, it is disproved, it is removed, that's all. So what Shruti Pramana does is, your assumption against the fact, against your anubhava, you have an assumption in you which is against your own anubhava. See this point, note this point. You have an assumption in you, the assumption or a notion which thinks that you are not non-dual. But you happen to be non-dual, which is nobody's choice. Choicelessly you are non-dual Brahman. But you have an assumption, you have a thought that you are not. That assumption, that thought, wrong thought is proven here. So that assumption is disproven here. ನಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ಅನಿಸುತ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ನಾನು ಸ್ವತಃ ಸಿದ್ಧ ಅದ್ವಿತೀಯ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನಾಗಿದ್ದರೂ ನನಗೆ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನಾನು ಅದ್ವಿತೀಯನಲ್ಲ ಎಂದು. ನಿಮಗೆ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಆ ಅನಿಸಿಕೆ ಹೇಗೆ ತಪ್ಪೋ ತೋರಿಸ್ತದೆ. ಶ್ರುತಿ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ಏಕೆ ಬೇಕು? ಶ್ರುತಿ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ಏಕೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತಾ ಇದಲ್ಲ, ವಾಸ್ತವಿಕಕ್ಕೆ ವಿರುದ್ಧವಾಗಿ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ತಪ್ಪು ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆ ಅದು. ವಾಸ್ತವಿಕವೇನೋ ಅದ್ವಿತೀಯ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಒಂದೇ ಇದೆ, ಅದು ಅಲ್ಲ ಎಂದು ಅನಿಸುತ್ತಾ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಅನಿಸಿಕೆ ಹೇಗೆ ತಪ್ಪೋ ತೋರಿಸ್ತದೆ. ಅನಿಸಿಕೆ ತಪ್ಪಾಯ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಆ ಅನಿಸಿಕೆ ತಪ್ಪಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಮಾತ್ರ ತಾನು ಅದ್ವೈತ ಇದ್ದೇ ಬಿಡುತ್ತದೆ. ವೇದಾಂತ ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಮಾಡುವುದು. ಅವರೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ಬೇಕು, ಆತ್ಮ ಅದ್ವಿತೀಯ ಎನ್ನುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ಬೇಕು. ప్రమాణమే ఇల్లవల్ల ಅವರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ఆత్మ అద్వితీయం అనటానికి ప్రమాణమే లేదు కదా అని వాళ్ళు అంటారు. దీనికి ప్రమాణం అవసరం లేదు. ఆత్మ అద్వితీయం అయి ఉన్నా అది నేను కాను, నేను ఇంకేమో అని అనిపిస్తుందే, ఆ అనిపిస్తున్న అనిపింపును తప్పు అని చూపించటం అంతే. అది తప్పు అని పక్కన పోతే ఉన్నదేదో అద్వితీయం స్వతసిద్ధం. దేర్ఫోర్ ఆత్మాస్ అద్వితీయత్వం need not be established. It doesn't need to be established by pramana. You don't need any pramana. Even if there is no pramana, doesn't make any difference, because it is a self-existing fact which nobody can deny, nobody can make it or unmake it. That is how it is. It is beyond our choice. So, but mind assumes that there is an assumption, there is a wrong thinking that there is no Advitiya Atma, that there is no Advitiyatvam. So that wrong thinking is disproven. Okay? Today we'll stop it. And there are few more arguments. How Swamiji is replying to their arguments point by point, we will see in the next class. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Harihi Om Tat Sat.